Greece now has the highest poverty rate in the European Union, and the crisis on the streets is only intensifying for the homeless. You're out there on the streets every single day. What are you seeing?
Thank you, Rosemary. Yes, we are out on the streets every single day, and what we can say and what we experience is that we are facing a situation where an already decimated society that is dealing with a paralyzed social state and with absolutely insignificant relief mechanisms is experiencing every day this issue more and more. In the last few weeks by itself, we have seen the number of homeless people, rough sleepers, and all of those people who what we call live in a street situation increase by a staggering 40%. And we are actually saying that we are overwhelmed by the amount of relief that is required at this moment in the streets of the big city.
It is just hard to grasp, isn't it? So how is your organisation trying to help those people who've been hit hardest by the Greek debt crisis?
Emphasis Foundation is actually working from the bottom and is actually going back to the basics. The first thing we make sure is that we, through our street work, our methodology of street work, with our about 100-strong body of volunteers, we give a daily presence on the streets of Athens 3 to 4 times a day. It is us who go to the people in need. It is us who approach the people that are in need of immediate support. And instead of applying ways and mechanisms that put their dignity into further low levels, we are asking them what is that they want. We have in our groups of volunteers, we have sociologists, social workers, psychologists. We listen to their story. We do not go there to preach. We ask them what is their immediate need. They need to determine and they need to work with us on a two-way plan of how they can get mobilized, what would their next steps be, how we can support them all the way, and how we can bring their dignity and their morale back to the normal levels. We are dealing with depression, we're dealing with suicidal thoughts, we're dealing with people who have lost everything overnight. And the first thing that we need to do is to tell them that they are not alone. We also have now an emergency relief unit that we operate on a daily basis in the late hours between 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., where through giving food and basic survival kit items, we try to build a relationship with these people. We try to make them trust us and together try to find the best way out of this crisis.
And Maria, while you're dealing with the reality of what's happening on the streets there, of course, we're waiting to hear from the Greek Parliament. They're going to need to gather together and approve this bailout measure, this third attempt to help Greece. From what the Prime Minister says, it's likely they will go ahead and do it, but it's going to be a bit of a struggle. And in the meantime, how much worse do you expect things to get while the homeless wait for the money to eventually trickle down to them?
Well, Rosemary, this is something that has been building up for a while, where I wish I could be more optimistic, but I think we're just seeing the first side effects of what is happening right now. I think there should be a long-term policy about how to deal with the homeless people or all the people that are vulnerable, all the people that have found themselves in this new situation. And we need to immediately find answers for questions like a social program for housing. It is impossible to bring these people back on their feet if they do not have a roof above their head. It is not possible to make these people regain their confidence if they do not have the basic rights to health care, to a roof, to basic education. We see more and more children being on the street, quitting school. We see families that face survival problems. So whatever the solution, the political solution is, the human cost is something that everyone should consider and everyone should keep in mind, because this cost will take a lot more than a simple financial transaction to pay off.